ready to go.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. And for all you new people out there, don't forget to subscribe. It's free and we appreciate it. Okay, today we're going to work on a couple of lawnmowers. Now, I bought two of them, and one of them doesn't appear to need anything, but we're going to take a quick look at it. It looks like it runs good, though. But the other one, there's just all sorts of entertainment going on that one. So we're going to start with it. So let's get started. Now, if we take a look at this bad boy, it's just a little push mower. This is the system to turn it off. You pull on this until you pull the spark plug off. I thought that was pretty good. And the first thing I did was have to go look at the bail bar when I saw that, or the kill switch, or whatever you want to call it. But then I saw it has its own entertainment value. This was somehow or another attached to make it go on and off. So the bail bar was permanently pinned, and they have a tie strap and a piece of wire to turn it off. You pull on it. When I see something like that, the first thing that occurs to me is, well, it might be a little ugly, but I'll bet the motor's okay because they were doing all sorts of things to keep it running, and they just got tired of it. First thing we're going to do is make sure she runs okay before we buy the cable for it. There's no reason to spend $15 on a $50 lawnmower if it's not worth running. So let's get started on it. Let's see if we can't get her started. This covers up the kill switch and all that whatnot. I don't know if this is holding it down or not, but we'll get it out of the way anyway. There's just all sorts of foolishness going on in this one. So we'll cut all this stuff off our way. Come on, buddy. Come on. There you go. Okay, there's one. There's two. And let's see how you're attached. You look like you're just attached normally. At least something's normal on this one. Now all you have to do is pinch the little clips in on this, and it should pop right out. Sometimes they pop right out, sometimes you just can't quite find the angle you want. Now it looks like this whole motor is just about extra bolts head to toe. Doesn't look like there's any factory anything on it. There you go, now she's halfway out. No, that's not enough though. Let's go here and rotate it here. And there you go. So now I'm going to put a piece of wire or something here to hold her on. You know, I might just do is just put something right there. That should probably do it. Yeah, we'll just drop something in the hole right here. Like a pair of pliers. That'll hold her on, and it'll let me take the pliers out to turn her back off. And it is very temporary. Now, I already looked at the fuel in this one. It looks okay. So our next order of business is getting this air cleaner off. Let's see what we can see inside. And 99% of the time I wouldn't fool with a lawnmower like this, but for some reason, I want to save this one. It just looks like the ugly duckling and the one nobody loved, so I think it's worth trying to save. Okay, now looking here, I can see my primer works. Oh. Let's go ahead and cut our cutoff system off. Kind of bet she might be in running shape, or she might not need a whole lot. Our primer's working fine, and that tells us fuel is flowing through the carburetor. So let's back you up a little bit, get you out of the line of fire, and try to give her a start. Okay, she cranked over a little bit and then died immediately. And that tells me the only fuel she was getting was the fuel that she got through the primer. So we're going to take the carb apart, pull the tank off, and see what's underneath. I'm betting the pickup tube's probably broken, but kind of hard to say because she is priming, which usually would indicate that the pickup tube's okay. Okay, now I've got you down to a happy little gas tank level. And this is a little bit of a Rubik's Cube to take the carburetors off one of these. And usually it's easier to take the tank and everything off and then work on the carburetor away from the motor. So that's what we're going to do. There we go. And it might be metric. It could be a 13 or something like that. Okay, now we're going to very carefully take the linkage apart. And remember, take lots of pictures right now because this linkage is not going to be obvious when you're putting it back together. Especially when you encounter one like this, that God knows what the original linkage looked like. This could be some modification that somebody made along the way. Or 13, and I took it off with a 1/2 inch. There we go. Now we've got the whole shooting match let go. So now we'll tend to that spring. And again, lots of pictures right now. And use care when you're doing it because the gas tank does have gas in it. And there we go. So let's take this over to the bench and pull the carburetor off and see what we've got. Now I went ahead and poured the gas out of this, and it didn't look good. It had little flakes of whatnot in it, and it looks like it's been sitting for a little while. And I think I know what to expect on this one. Let's pull her apart and see. I'm thinking the little gasket, the little diaphragm gasket in between the carburetor and the gas tank is going to be all warped and old and out of shape. That would allow for it to prime, but it wouldn't allow for it to run. See, now trying to do this while it's on the mower is a pain in the neck. Take those 2 bolts out and take the whole thing over to your bench, and it's easy peasy. Okay, what do we got? It'll be nice and gentle. If you wreck this pickup tube, they're really hard to get your hands on. Okay, see how this is deformed right here? That's our money right there. Whoops. We're leaking screws. Is that all of them? No, a couple more. Okay, base gasket looks okay. Everything else actually looks pretty nice in here. Looks to be in pretty good shape, and these are super simple carburetors. I'm sure if we replace this, she'll run great. So let me run out and get one of these. I don't think I've got one of these sitting here. I'll see you shortly. I've got a replacement for a diaphragm gasket now. Got a nice shiny new one. So let's throw it back together. I'm not replacing this gasket on the carburetor because it looks pretty good as it sits. And I do believe this is all it'll take to get this bad boy running again. Let's make sure we line up correctly. Now I'm going to put each screw in just the tiniest little bit, just to hold the gasket still while we do it. And it's a plastic carburetor, so you don't want to tighten any of them until you've got them all threaded up a little bit, because it can warp the carburetor. So get that first thread started in each one. There you go. There you go. And the last one. Now we'll take a look, make sure our gasket's in place all the way around. And it is. So let's put her down. Notice I'm going back and forth when I do it on the bolts. That's just to cut down on the warps on the plastic. Okay, that should do it. Make sure we're tight all the way around. And that should do it. Let's throw it back on the motor and see what we've got. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's get her all back together. We get our linkage back in place. Which is usually the most fiddly part. And if you took pictures while you were taking the linkage apart, then you'd be able to verify that she's going back together the way you expect her to. You see our back arm just came off. We'll do it last. Just get it out of the way for the moment. Scoot our carburetor back on. Let's get our back half of our linkage back together. There we go. Now let's put our bolts back in, and she's ready to roll. With just a little bit of luck, she just needs some fuel and she's off. There we go. And it just uses an O-ring to seat the carburetor up to the motor. So there's not much to that. We'll scoot that back in. And we bent that out a little bit when we took it off. So now we'll grab some pliers and bend it back in. Once you get it all bent back in, then we don't have to worry about her hopping off while we're running. There we go. It all looks pretty good. Okay, we got a new air cleaner. So we'll use that. Even though the old one looks pretty good. Since we've got it, we might as well throw it in. It came as part of the kit, which gave me the gasket I needed. The diaphragm gasket, that is. Okay. Let's get you back in place. And throw a little fuel in it and see if she won't start. We still got to do the bail bar, but that'll only take a minute. La 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 la. Okay, looks good. Looks good. Looks good. I had to do a little bit of left-handed engineering to get the bail bar right. Because it's a very old mower, the cable doesn't match up with what a modern cable would look like. So I moved the connector down the handle just a little bit, and she works fine. And even though this thing's old and ugly, I'm expecting pretty good things from it here. Now, to this day, I still don't know why I decided to fix this thing. Because she's old, she's ugly, and she's worthless. But it touched a soft spot on me, so I decided she was worth saving. Our total investment in this mower right now is about $31, including the price of purchase. If she doesn't start here, our $31 is out the window just about, because we really can't put a whole lot more money into her. Uh-oh, she's escaping. Well, it's a weed eater. It's old, it's ugly, but she starts good and she sounds pretty solid. Well, I really want to say that one came out nice, but the best I can say is it runs good and it's ugly, but it runs good. Starts good, runs good, and it's got a new air filter and a new diaphragm in the carburetor. So as long as they keep the oil good in it, you might get 5 or 6 more years out of that motor. And it's better than seeing it go to the dump. We put a kill cable on it. We put a new diaphragm in the carburetor on it, but it was a $10 mower. So I've got about $30 invested in it, and I'll only get about 40. And that doesn't count all the little expenses that just happen along the way. So there's no profit there whatsoever. But for some reason, I just wanted to save that one. Sometimes you see one and you just say, yeah, I like this one too much to let it die. Well, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.